everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to Crypto and Coffee at 8. Now, how Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. We cover top news and information related to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. We also follow two news and information related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. Now this is followed by an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. So let's kick this thing off.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB, and today is the 5th of October 2021. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp are down, but Bitcoin is not down. And most likely the price of Bitcoin is going to cross over the $50,000 mark once again. Looks like the last quarter of 2021 seems to be having a promising start for Bitcoin and all of the cryptocurrencies. Today we are going to be talking about Edward Snowden, who has said some nice things about Bitcoin. Not surprising, because in the past he has been a massive advocate of Bitcoin. And the greatest president of the United States of America, or should I say former president, Donald Trump, had said some not so nice things about cryptocurrencies. But once again, it's important to understand the context in which he has said a couple of things. We will discuss that in detail. We will also discuss if social media on blockchain is a good thing, because the fact that the top 3 giants have gone down. And we have some really interesting information about NFTs. A person who was mocking NFTs. Her mocking has turned into an NFT. So the joke's on you. And some fake news tweet messages on Mintable. We're also going to be talking 2 news about UAE. The first one being Dubai-based XOR Exchange is launching a digital platform in Latin America. They plan to launch on the 30th of November. What's really interesting is that they have advertised as a blockchain-based company. I'm not sure if that is actually the best thing, because they're offering only cryptocurrency exchanges. So technically, they are not offering anything linked to blockchain, or it has pretty much nothing to do with blockchain. The other thing is, how can one be a blockchain-based company, because blockchain is open source and no single entity or group can own a blockchain. The next news is about Blockchain DXB, that is my podcast, and I'd like to share some news that we have crossed over 70 hours of live sessions. That is only in Crypto and Coffee at 8. Now later on today we also have the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. So welcome everyone, it's 8 and you're in Dubai, and you're listening to Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover 5 news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. How this series of episodes under Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover 3 news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, and some major breaking news or mega news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. The other 2 news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. This is followed by Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Gulf Standard Time. So let's kick this thing off. So welcome everyone, today is the 5th of October and the market looks green, and there are indications that we are in for a bullish market. The global crypto market is currently at $2.17 trillion. Now since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.55%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $105.56 billion. Looks like the crypto price influencers might have just been right. The last quarter does look extremely promising. Since the last 24 hours, the crypto market volume has increased by 18.16%. DeFi is gradually increasing. The total volume of DeFi is currently at $14.83 billion, and DeFi accounts for 14.05% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. The volume of stablecoins as of today, the 5th of October, is $84.33 billion. Now, stablecoin accounts for 79.89% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. The king of all kings, Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is currently at $49,492. What's really interesting to see is that the Bitcoin dominance is gradually increasing and is currently at 42.99%, an increase of 0.46% over the day. Dominance need not necessarily give you a good indication because there are a lot of shitcoins that come into the cryptocurrency market. So Bitcoin dominance, if you look at it, should ideally be over 90%, and the remaining 10% ideally could be maybe Ethereum. But if you look at all the crypto market currencies combined, Bitcoin dominance is 42.99% and Ethereum dominance is at 18.40%. Bitcoin since the last 7 days is up by 18.71%, and since the last 24 hours it is up by 3.75%. So the price is just about to touch $50,000 mark. So what do you guys think? Do you think by the end of day, 5th October, the price crosses the $50,000 mark? Currently it is at $49,492. Ethereum is currently at $3,391. Now, since the last 7 days, Ethereum is up by 17.25%. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.93%. The number 3rd cryptocurrency in the coin market cap is Binance Coin. Since the last 7 days, Binance Coin is up by 30.66%. CC, the CEO of Binance, is currently in Dubai. It would be really interesting, just to have a chat with him because he is attending quite a lot of events in Dubai. So in case if you guys are in Dubai, keep an eye for CC. Try to follow him on Twitter. He is currently in Dubai and most likely he will be attending quite a lot of Bitcoin, blockchain and cryptocurrency events in the UAE. Let's kick off with the news for today. Edward Snowden is back in the cryptocurrency news. Edward Snowden is a massive advocate of Bitcoin and open source technology and has mentioned many times in the past positive things about Bitcoin. Just a few days ago, he mentioned via Twitter that Bitcoin is up by 10 times since and despite the coordinated global campaigns by government to undermine public understanding of and support of cryptocurrencies. So again, this goes back to the question, is Bitcoin apolitical? Looks like over time, Bitcoin is apolitical because politics and politicians and governments are not able to stop Bitcoin. Now, this is the power of distributed system. In a similar yet contrasting view, former President Donald Trump, who is the greatest president in the United States, in an interview with Yahoo Finance with Adam Shapiro, said that, "I don't want to have other currencies coming out and hurting or demeaning the dollar in a way." If you look at the mainstream media in cryptocurrencies are portraying as though Donald Trump is referring to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you need to listen to the full context in which he said that. Adam Shapiro, who sounds like a Democrat, asked Trump what he thinks of China and its move towards cryptocurrencies. And Trump did actually mention that China is planning to build its own cryptocurrencies, and Trump, the greatest president of all time, mentioned this particular statement in a response to that particular comment. In case you want to listen to the full interview, which is over 22 minutes long, go to Adam Shapiro's Twitter account and listen to the full unedited interview. You will get a much better idea and the whole context of what he said. That being said, Donald Trump in the past did acknowledge Bitcoin as a currency. Being a president, you need to understand his point of view towards the US dollar. Now, he did say that he does think Bitcoin as a scam, yet at the same time, he did acknowledge it. as a cryptocurrency. Now moving on to next news, and this is about Virgin Galactic Chairman Chamath Palihapitiya. In an interview with CNBC, said that Bitcoin has replaced gold. The interview was only 2.22 minutes long via CNBC, so listen to the full interview. He has been an advocate of Bitcoin since a very long time. In the past, he did mention that Bitcoin will go past 200,000 per Bitcoin and has been wrong on many occasions. That being said, the interview focuses on his concern towards US economy and how China is dealing with its own economy. Keeping all of these things in mind, he feels that Bitcoin has replaced gold. How many Bitcoins do you think the CEO of Social Capital LP and the chairman of Virgin Galactic, that is Chamath Palihapitiya, has? There are rumors that he has well over 1 million Bitcoins, and that is more than Satoshi Nakamoto himself. He definitely has more Bitcoins than Michael Saylor or Elon Musk, probably more than both of them combined as well. Moving on to next news, this is some really interesting news, and this is to do with Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin mining difficulty. Glassnode publishes a report every week called as the Week on Chain Analysis Report. Now, the Week on Chain on the 4th of October states that the Bitcoin price has rallied strong out of a zone of heavy accumulation, seeing around $1.75 billion worth of capital inflows per day. That is a lot. So what I would recommend you guys to do is go to my LinkedIn profile. You would get the actual link directly to Glassnode's insight. You can also go to Glassnode's website and read through that information yourself. They've also mentioned some useful stats on mining difficulty, requiring around 80 sextillion hashes to solve a block. Now that is a lot. Looks like the mining is getting really tough. And does Bitcoin require an extremely strong security? Look, security is good, but the security that Bitcoin is offering, or the amount being paid in terms of the mining cost, is way too strong than what is required. Something which I mentioned in the past is that Anita Bosch, who's a podcaster of Bitcoin, had a fantastic video with Adam Back for Blockstream on YouTube, and she did question the same thing to Adam Back, that stating that the security of Bitcoin is great, but the security in terms of cost is extremely high, and can something be done about it? So definitely worth listening to the entire video. In the past, I've also covered that Iran have started mining operations, and they started it on the 22nd of September. So most likely the difficulty of mining gets adjusted every 2016 block. Since the mining is keeping on getting difficult, it could be possible that the next mining difficulty gets easier. So how it works is every 2016 block, the mining difficulty gets adjusted. If it is extremely tough, the mining difficulty gets reduced. If it is extremely easy, the mining difficulty increases. So the mining difficulty gets adjusted based on how many people are mining. Having a strong difficulty mining is not necessarily a good thing. NewsBTC has published technical analysis where Antpool Bitcoin mining has been the top mining pool dedicated hash rate to BTC network with 29.7 ETH terahashes per second, or 20.47% of the global hash rate. Antpool is followed by F2 pool with 23.58 ETH hash per second, or 16.2%. If you look at it, Antpool and F2 pool combined, they add up to over 36% of Bitcoin's total overall hash rate. Is security too strong for Bitcoin, or can that electricity that is utilized for Bitcoin mining be used in Bitcoin blockchain itself, but somewhere? Game theory works in a completely unpredictable way, and game theory does not seem to be beneficial in this particular case. Moving on to some news about NFT. OpenSea has its largest day of trading on the third Ethereum-based NFT project, CrypToadz with a Z by GREMPLIN, led by the charge with over $19 million worth of volume in one single day. So OpenSea recorded its highest single day of trading volume in nearly a month. And more information can be found out. Go to my LinkedIn profile. and you would see loads of information. What I would recommend you to do is, in case you want to find out a lot about OpenSea, and if you're just getting into the NFT space, Bankless released a fantastic episode yesterday, that is the 4th of October, with Devin Finzer. Devin Finzer is the founder and CEO of OpenSea, and they discussed the NFT boom and quite a lot of information. And they explained as to how OpenSea started with 6 employees. What are the challenges that they faced? One of the challenges that they face is getting authenticity of the NFTs which are uploaded onto the OpenSea platform, and how they go out and tackle it. So definitely worth listening to it. Loads of useful information if you are getting into the NFT space. The other news is about a person via Twitter who actually mocked about NFTs and why NFTs is just a hype and boom. What someone did was they took a screenshot of that particular tweet and turned it into an NFT. So the joke is on you. So go to Cointelegraph. They have posted an article of a Twitter female, of a Twitter ID who actually mocked NFTs and stating that it wasn't a good use case. Someone apparently took a screenshot of that, changed it to an NFT, and I believe it got sold for over $5,000. How crazy is that? Talking about crazy NFTs. If you go to Mintable, which is completely free of cost, there is another NFT which is going on called as a fake news NFT. So it's apparently what the user does is he creates fake news, and these are tweet messages by Joe Biden and Donald Trump and Boris Johnson, and that gets uploaded via NFT. So fake news will be created as an NFT. Now with the power of blockchain, which is immutable, imagine the fake news being in NFT, possibly forever. How crazy is that? And what are your thoughts on NFTs and fake news on NFTs being completely immutable? The NFT hype is definitely going to go down, but while it is, you may as well make the best use out of it. Moving on to news about UAE. The first news is about a Dubai-based XOR exchange. This is by His Excellency Fahad Maharibi, the founder and CEO of XOR Exchange. He is also the chairman of Zurich Capital Fund. So Zurich Capital Fund, in partnership with ISOC, announces the launch of XOR Exchange. It is focusing more on Latin America and the Caribbean region. So cryptocurrency linked and connected to banks in Latin America. Now currently they boast of already having 5 million users. The platform is not yet released and will be released on the 30th of November 2021. So I'm not sure what the website is and where you can actually go and track this information. Now XOR will be the first digital platform in Latin America and the Caribbean to trade cryptocurrencies. His Excellency Fahad Maharibi, the founder and CEO of XOR Exchange, said that his company officially launched the XOR platform for trading digital assets that is highly efficient and easy to use, which makes it easy for investors to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies safely. He also said that XOR will be launched online on November 30th, 2021. It's one of the first digital asset exchanges to be launched in the region of Latin America and the Caribbean, and will be connected between Middle East, Africa, North Africa, Asia, and Europe. It'll be really interesting to see what the future of XOR exchange is. It puts within the reach of informed and novice investors an automated user experience through its advanced trading tools and multiple options of cryptocurrencies. They also follow strict security measures and token trading fees. And the reasons for starting the exchange, the demand for trading and issuing digital assets, is witnessing a steady growth in conjunction with the huge demand for value digital currencies such as Bitcoin and the rapid development of blockchain technology. In case you want to read the official article, go to zavia.com and you will get a lot of information about XOR Exchange. The XOR platform allows registered users to start depositing and then trading about 10 cryptocurrencies directly through different currency pairs such as USDT, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tezos, Ripple, and many other. The greatest thing is there are no fees for registering with XOR. but there will be competitive fees for deposits, and the withdrawal and trading fees are at 0.2%. The company is following new mechanisms to provide a safe trading environment and face the possibilities of penetration of the system through the new platform. It only maintains 5% of its assets of currencies via the internet, while at the same time maintaining 95% as cold assets offline. This means that it is completely isolated even if the system is hacked. So it looks like at a macro level, this definitely seems to be a very strong concept. So we'll have to wait till the end of November to see how this entire thing materializes. The next news is about blockchain DXB. This is the project which I have been involved in. I have been in Bitcoin since 2013, and currently I'm working as a Bitcoin and blockchain consultant. And blockchain DXB, our goal is pretty simple: to train, educate, and consult people on Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. In case you want to find out more information about it, you can go to www.blockchaindxb.com. You guys can always drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. The news is that since starting the Crypto and Coffee date a couple of months ago, we have completed over 70 hours of crypto live sessions. This particular 70 hours details all information about Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrencies from across the world, and also 2 news of information. What I tend to do is every day in the morning, I publish an article on LinkedIn. And in that article, I always mention 2 news regarding Dubai, UAE, and Middle East. So getting an understanding of what the startups are, what are the regulations in Bitcoin and blockchain, the different cryptocurrency exchanges, let's reference to startups and new companies that are currently taking place. I often give advice on events that are taking place. Some good events and some not so good events. So in case, if you want to find out more information, go to www.blockchaindxb.com. So once again, essentially what Crypto and Coffee does is we talk about the top 3 price related information and 2 news and information about Dubai, UAE, and Middle East. So that's all for today, guys, from Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. You can also check my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. If you like listening to this, please follow this podcast. Click on the follow and share the word across. Now for the next 30 minutes, it's going to be Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. Hey, welcome everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB, and you're listening to Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. Now remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. This is followed by 2 news and information about Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. What you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you guys can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. I have a first question by Lainey, who has asked, how can one get started in Bitcoin? Now Lainey, the first and most important thing what I would like to recommend is try to understand the technology for Bitcoin. Forget the price element of it. People are moving towards Bitcoin or getting attracted towards Bitcoin purely because of the price and the speculation of price. I would recommend to try to understand what the Bitcoin is. I try to recommend to understand what Bitcoin is, how the Bitcoin blockchain technology works. There is only one particular website I would like to recommend, and the website is by Jameson Lopp. So it's Jameson Lopp. The Lopp is with double P, that is P for Peter, P for Peter. You can also find the link on my website. So go to Jameson Lopp. He has a list. You might have to spend probably a week or maybe a month to truly understand what Bitcoin is. To start off with Bitcoin, that is the only recommendation that I would like to give out, rather than giving out chunks of information. Once you go through that, you would probably know 90% more than pretty much everyone else, believe it or not. And lately, I also tend to have Bitcoin Beginners Guide, and I do it completely free, of course. So go to eventbrite.com. I try to explain everything about Bitcoin at a completely beginner level. Now, I do have an advanced section, and I do have a technical level section as well. Lady, I would recommend you to avoid watching YouTube videos, especially YouTube videos like Michael Saylor, who pretty much talks nonsense about Bitcoin, or anyone who talks purely about the price of Bitcoin. Try to understand what the technology is. In YouTube, the only person I would recommend is Andreas Antonopoulos. Now, he talks quite a lot of great things so far as the education part of Bitcoin is concerned. So on YouTube, Andreas Antonopoulos, the website is Jameson and Locke. Those are the only two resources. The best resource, however, is listening to podcasts. I'd like to just give out 5 podcasts rather than giving a plethora of podcasts. The first one I would recommend is Unchained, and this is by Laura Shin. Now, she does not focus on Bitcoin, but she focuses on other blockchain platforms as well, like Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, but definitely a great educational tool. Bomb Podcast, who just might be the number one podcast in the Bitcoin and Ethereum space. He does talk a lot about cryptocurrencies from a business perspective as well. And he has a lot of the top OGs, business people in this podcast. The next one, which is focused only on Bitcoin, is the What Bitcoin Did podcast. The What Bitcoin Did podcast focuses only on Bitcoin, and it is at a completely beginner level, and I believe he wants to keep it that way. He also has a lot of OGs and top politicians in the What Bitcoin Did podcast. It is by Peter McCormack. The other one is Epicenter, which I believe might be one of the oldest podcasts in the space, along with, let's say, Speaking of Bitcoin initially used to be called as Let's Talk Bitcoin. So Epicenter, they do not talk much about Bitcoin, rather they talk about blockchain, a little bit of technical information. Rarely nowadays actually they talk about Bitcoin. So Epicenter is one of the oldest. And the second one, which I mentioned earlier, is about Speaking of Bitcoin. Initially it was called as Let's Talk Bitcoin. So Speaking of Bitcoin, I believe it has over 400 odd episodes. They talk only about Bitcoin, but lately they've been talking about NFTs. And Andreas Antonopoulos is one of the co-hosts of Speaking of Bitcoin, so definitely good stuff. And you can also listen to Blockchain at DXB. You're more than welcome if you have any questions to drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com as well. I have another question by Angela, who asks, what are your thoughts on Ripple? A fantastic question, Angela. To be honest, I have a mixture of reaction when it comes to Ripple, and this is purely my own opinion. XRP, that is a cryptocurrency for RippleNet, need not exist. So RippleNet or Ripple Lab and the entire protocol or platform of Ripple will still work perfectly fine. That is my take. So there is no need for XRP, and RippleNet and Ripple Lab will still work perfectly fine. That being said, Ripple does solve 99.99% of the problem that Bitcoin aimed to solve, and it solves with a much higher guarantee and assurance. So technically, it's much more advanced and probably has much more better usage than Bitcoin. If you look at Naveen Gupta, and if you try to follow him on LinkedIn, he's the managing director of RippleNet, who I believe is in Dubai. So he's been living in Dubai for, I believe, more than 4 or 5 years. He does a lot of partnerships with Oman and banks in Pune in India, and quite a lot of partnerships. I believe he also had a partnership with one of the oldest banks of Egypt, with a bank in UAE. So they do a lot of partnerships, and they're actually solving a lot of the real world case problems. RippleNet is not blockchain, so essentially there are no blocks that are chained. So I'm not a fan of RippleNet, but it is still a great project. And El Salvador, which I think could have used RippleNet to solve a lot of its problems. Now what El Salvador does is it's using its Chivo wallet. Now, in order to achieve a wallet, you need to be verified. And common sense would say that if you need to be verified to use Chiva Wallet, you can use the same verification for banking purposes. If you can use the same verification for banking purposes, you may as well use Ripple. It becomes extremely fast, probably much faster than Lightning Network, and it becomes really, really cheaper as well. So that is my take, Angela, on Ripple. I have another question by Patel, who has asked, at this moment, how many different types of cryptocurrencies are there? Now, Patel, I keep getting this question quite often. Now, as of today, the 5th of October, and I'm looking at this information via coinmarketcap.com, there are over 12,327 different types of cryptocurrencies. Now, I'm looking at this information via coinmarketcap.com, and as of 5th of October, there are 12,327 different types of cryptocurrencies, and that is quite a lot. I do remember in 2016 there was less than 600 different types of cryptocurrencies. The number of cryptocurrencies just completely went berserk when Ethereum got launched. Anyone can create their own cryptocurrencies. To be honest, 12,326 seem to be completely bogus, and you don't actually need it. Even Ethereum, I'm not really sure what the use case of Ethereum is. Yes, there are DeFi protocols, which is an entire industry altogether. There is also NFTs, there is also smart contracts. But if you look at DeFi, it is just leverage upon leverage, and it is leverage upon leverage. It is great that people are making money out of it, but has it solved any real use case? Well, something which I talked earlier is that Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp had gone down. Can these platforms perform better in a distributed blockchain system? And the answer is no, because we still have the trilemma problem, which might be solved maybe in 5 or 10 years down the line. In the meantime, centralized systems works perfectly fine, as much as involved in Bitcoin and blockchain space. I hate to say this, but centralized system such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter does work perfectly fine in comparison to blockchain protocols. Blockchain protocols are extremely expensive. They are extremely slow, and the user experience, that is quality, is not as per what the centralized systems offer. There are a couple of failed projects, like there was an app called as Murmur, which tried to replicate Twitter on blockchain. The user experience was absolutely horrendous. So essentially you have to wait a couple of seconds, which eventually turns into minutes, for every tweet. So imagine sending a tweet on blockchain, but you will have to wait till the block is confirmed. And imagine what happens if there is an attack like a Solana downtime, which happened a few weeks ago. So those all possibilities still exist. Another drawback is, what if some sensitive information or sensitive pictures or images is uploaded onto social media? Because blockchain is immutable, imagine that information in blockchain for eternity. So definitely not ideal. So that's all for today, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we tackle top news and information. And we also discuss two news and information from Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. This is followed by Ask Me Anything series that you're listening to right now, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. That's all for today, guys. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. You can also check my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. If you like listening to this, please share this podcast and click on the follow and share the word across. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye-bye.